There is a par for the course sort of story in our modern welfare state. A mother just blew $6,000 in public money on a vacation for herself. And I guess she took the kids on the vacation too, but something tells me she was indulging herself a lot on this vacation. The DC government has a pilot program launched a couple years ago to offer more than 100 low-income mothers almost $1,100 in cash payments, no strings attached. So it's not food stamps, it's not home heating subsidies, it's just $10,800 cash. Do with it what you want. And what did this woman do with it? She blew it on a Miami vacation. She's a mother of three, 27-year-old Kenethia Miller. She took the lump sum of almost $11,000. She's a stay-at-home mother who lives on welfare. So the notion of the welfare queen that you've heard about since at least the Reagan administration, liberals say that woman doesn't exist. She does exist. It's this woman. This is the welfare queen. And she said she spent some of the money on essentials, not a ton, but she spent most of the money taking herself and her baby daddy and the children, at least she brought the children, on this Miami vacation. She said, these are her exact words, the other side is, I wanted to blow it. I wanted to have some fun. She said she wanted her children to experience something she would not have been able to provide without the money. And now they want to experience food because she blew all the money on Miami. The libs love to talk about root causes. They say, we can't just arrest the illegal aliens at our border. We need to get to the root causes of migration. We can't just prosecute violent criminals on the streets of New York. No. We've got to get at the root problems of crime. And they're half right. I mean, it's not an either or, okay? You can do both. You can arrest the criminals who are breaking the law, and you actually have to. It's an obligation of justice. But yeah, we also should address root problems. And what are these root causes? Well, the root causes of crime in the streets, yeah, it is. Fatherlessness is a big problem. And some of the root causes, the fact that we now actively discourage marriage as a matter of public policy. That's bad. We should encourage marriage. We should stop pretending that marriage is something other than what it is. We should stop pretending that marriage is just the sort of thing that one can undertake on a whim and encourage no-fault divorce. We should stop all that stuff. I agree. And we should encourage marriage in public life. But what's the root cause of this woman's poverty? The root cause of this woman's poverty is she can't be trusted with money. She doesn't know how to use it. Okay, you want to get to root causes. These are her exact words. I wanted to blow it. She said, now I'm thinking about, now that I have some of this money, I'm thinking about getting a savings account. I'm going to try to keep $50 in it at least. Good. Yeah, you should keep $50 in your at least in your savings account. But if you just got $11,000, you should keep a lot more than $50 in your savings account. The root cause here of this woman's poverty is the fact that she's not married. She should be encouraged to get married. And she should be, if she's going to have a lot of children out of wedlock, there should be a social pressure for her to get married and to stay married. There should be a social pressure for the men who get her pregnant to marry her, a strong social pressure. It should not be encouraged or tolerated that there should be a legal pressure for this stuff to happen. And then if she is going to receive public assistance, which I guess she should because we don't want the kids to go hungry, this should not be no strings attached. She proved it. She proved the conservative point here. That woman cannot be trusted with free money. Very few people can be trusted with free money. This is like why when people win the lottery, they just go bankrupt a lot of them. It ruins a lot of their lives in many cases because they don't know how to handle it. Because you think you want money, but you don't really want money. What you want is the kind of lifestyle that leads you to get money in the first place. If you just received, Jeff Bezos's bank account, it would probably last you for a while because it's a big bank account, but you'd probably just ruin yourself if you didn't know how to handle that kind of money. If you hadn't cultivated the habits of virtue that allow you to live a good life, that coincidentally, in some cases, in many cases, will lead you to amass some material wealth as well. Not going to work, man. You got to address the whole human person. We are not merely economic agents. We're not merely material. As a result of the Alabama Supreme Court rightly concluding that the Alabama state constitution prohibits not only abortion, but the buying and selling of human babies in the form of embryos, in the form of the surrogacy industry and IVF. As a result of that, Some Republicans are coming out to defend IVF, probably because they think that being opposed to IVF will hurt them in the 2024 election. So Kari Lake did this, and President Trump did this as well. President Trump came out, he tweeted, or posted on Truth Social. Under my leadership, the Republican Party will always support the creation of strong, thriving, healthy American families. That's great. We love that. We want to make it easier for mothers and fathers to have babies, not harder. Totally agree. That's great. That includes supporting the availability of fertility treatments like IVF in every state in America. I don't know about that one. Like the overwhelming majority of Americans, including the vast majority of Republicans, conservative Christians, and pro-life Americans, I strongly support the availability for couples who are trying to have a precious baby. IVF, I think actually when you get into the nitty-gritty, is a little more controversial than that. Today, I'm calling on the Alabama legislature to act quickly to find an immediate solution to preserve the availability of IVF in Alabama. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, the state constitution is pretty clear. The Republican Party should always be on the side of the miracle of life and the side of mothers, fathers, and their beautiful babies. IVF, that's certainly true. IVF is an important part of that. Not so sure. And our great Republican Party will always be with you in your quest for the ultimate joy in life. Okay, I get it. I get why people support IVF. I also get why people would subscribe to this YouTube channel. What you have to do is ring that bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel, subscribe, ring it, smash, ding dong, whatever you got to do. Thank you. Appreciate that. I understand why people support IVF because infertility is very, very painful. For 2 years, sweet little Elise and I actually struggled to conceive our first child. And I speak with a little bit of experience. I understand just a little bit how extremely painful that is. I get it. And we went to a fertility specialist finally. And you know what they do, the fertility specialists? They sell you IVF. They are salesmen for IVF. And IVF and surrogacy is, I guess it's a market for babies. You know, what you're selling is a human being, which is morally questionable in itself, to say nothing about the ways in which IVF actually is practiced with the creation of multiple human beings who are then left to just be put in a freezer indefinitely and then maybe destroyed, killed if you don't use them. And it's very morally dubious. But people don't pay attention to that. They don't pay attention to it because they're offered this extreme temptation for a very deep desire of their heart during an extremely painful period of their lives. I get it. I get why people have done it, okay? I don't think it would be advisable for the Republican Party to come out as the party of IVF right now. And I'm not even saying that the Republican Party should be running against IVF. I totally sympathize with Donald Trump's political instincts that this would be an unpopular campaign theme. Yeah, I'm not saying, you run on immigration, the economy, and banning IVF everywhere. I'm not saying that would be a politically wise idea. I guess if I were advising President Trump, what I would urge here is just caution. This is a novel bioethical debate because this is a very new technology. For virtually all of human history, we had no ability to do this kind of thing, to create human beings in petri dishes in labs and then freeze them and then implant them and then sell them. And sometimes this has happened. Even last year, there's a big lawsuit about this. You mix the wrong sperm with the wrong egg, and oopsie daisy, you just made a human being who has a mother and a father who've never met each other. And whatever happens to that human being, it's not going to be ideal, because if you allow the human being to live, the human being is not going to know one of his parents, or it's going to split up multiple marriages, or it's who knows, or you're just going to destroy that human being. You're going to kill him because you're treating that human being like an object rather than a proper subject with rights. These are things a lot of people don't think about, but it's a novel idea. And so I would just urge caution. That would be my advice here. We all want strong families. We all want, we hear that, the vast majority of people support IVF. That's not exactly true. I mean, the Catholic Church utterly prohibits it. And lots of other Christians have all sorts of moral questions about it. And Jews have moral questions about it. And everybody has some moral questions. It's such a novel idea. I would just urge, I'm not really knocking Trump here. I get it politically. Even Viktor Orban in Hungary, who is the best on family policy of anyone in the West, even he has supported IVF. And so I understand it's kind of a new thing and people haven't thought about it all the way through. So I'm totally sympathetic to President Trump's gut feeling here. If I were advising the president, I would just urge a little bit of caution on this matter and maybe just don't make it a top political issue one way or the other. I think Alabama is following their state Supreme Court. Alabama is following the state constitution. Alabama, I think, is following a bioethically wise course here, but we have laboratories of democracy. This debate will play out over some time, and one can hope and pray that the correct conclusion will be reached. Republicans, we don't need to shoot ourselves in the foot on this issue, would be my humble suggestion. Man, what a great clip that was, huh? Now, hold up, ring that bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.